If you can remember very well, I want to call you back to the time when APC took over from Jonathan.
2015.
Yes, Baba. Tẹ́ ẹ bá rántí, I want to remind you of one particular thing that during Buhari's government, the Minister of Information could not perform as a Minister of Information, but he was able to perform as a propagandist,
Mm-hmm.
a publicity secretary of APC nígbà tí wọ́n wà ní opposition, if you can remember.
I remember. I do.
Because the only thing he knows how to do best is to promote propaganda. He could not perform as a Minister of Information.
Mm. Mm. I remember.
Ordinarily, he single-handedly truncate Jonathan's government with his propaganda.
And lies.
I'm talking of Lai Mohammed,
I know.
if you can remember.
I do. They did the people dirty in that country.
It was a game plan. It was a game plan. Baba, I am seeing Nigeria right now sitting on a gunpowder because the saving grace that ordinary people have, which is the judiciary, has been hijacked.
And that's what Jonathan was saying too, remember? That the world is serious. There's nobody that will actually have any legit money and take it to that place.
Tí ìṣòro bá ṣẹlẹ̀ between a company and the government, wọ́n á take over government access yẹn lọ́wọ́ there's nowhere to run to. Exactly.
Baba. Thank you so much. I don't know if you can still hear me, by the way. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good.
So, but bóyá tí wọ́n ṣe state of emergency ní Ọ̀ṣun pẹ̀lú nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀, there is issue Ìlóbù, Ifọ̀ and Ọ̀ṣun is under crisis now.
That's right. Well, I wouldn't say there should be a state of emergency there. Rather, I would have expected the supposed president of a country, right, to have actually arrested the problem right now. You know, like all those guys who are wielding guns, going from one house to the other, burning houses in these communities. Somebody should have probably seen them by now. Did you see all those people who are moving on like refugees in that video? Those are really.
They are passing out. I saw them. I was shocked.
You know, like in Yoruba, real human beings. Our people are becoming refugees in their own land.
They are backing out of their towns and moving out. That reminds me of Ife Amodakeke, if you could remember.
Anyway.
And you are saying now that you are running a government. You are trying to promote it. There's another one that is happening in Edo. They are encroaching the southwest completely. I'm talking of all those Fulanis. They are also doing their own at one side.
Now.
All around this security, but because of the political interest that you have in Rivers, you give 24 hours solution. You quickly step to the tide. As a president, as a very active president, Kemari propaganda that within 24 hours, then one stupid man was brought to Arise TV and was saying the president quickly stemmed the tide. He quickly
prevented the anarchy. Prevented
and so they are supposed to shoot that that stupid mocha. I always watch him speak. And so they should hold him and just slice his throat. Have you been hearing what he's saying recently?
I heard him now. I mean, he was there now.
Oh my God!
He was also issuing warnings to those who are condemning deeds and all of that stuff, you know, that Fubara saw it coming.
All those people that come to the media and say nonsense. Ṣé àwọn ọmọ wọn kì í appear in public tó yẹ kó máa sọ̀kò mú wọn pé àwọn peers wọn they should stone them and send them to their parents that go and talk to your father.
What your mama they do.
Exactly.
I'll take another one. Thank you very much.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. Now mumu na too much. You be mumu. You think say they wise.
Sorry, I think I lost my audio at a point. Can you hear me? Yeah? I think I also have another caller on the line. Now, here is my fundraiser, and the link is also right here in the comments. So, to everyone who might want to use it, this is, let me see if I can even put that on the screen. And let's do our usual way. Let me see how many, how many pounds I can raise this evening. Pardon me, I just had to use my phone to make this account on my way to the office this evening. So I haven't really loaded it up with much information. So the target is more than 500, of course, like about 10,000 pounds. But I want to see how much of that I'll be able to put together and how much of this can actually be achieved, right? So if you use there is a link, there's a GoFundMe, there's a GoFundMe link in the comment section, right? Anyone can use it. And remember, donation is always voluntary. Don't give me the money that you turn around later and be like, oh, I shouldn't have given you my money, please. Make sure that you only give what you think you can, you can actually really spare. And the good advantage of that as well is that if you change your mind, you can easily just cancel it and get your money back. There is Henry. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Michael. Hello.
Hello, sir. How you doing, sir?
Hello. Yeah, not too bad. Hope you're well. I've got to say your show is probably so instrumental in hopefully kicking off that revolution that we're going to have, that we need in Nigeria. And I just want to say thank you. And I will be making a donation. And I think we really need shows like this to hopefully open the minds of Nigerians. It's really sad with what's going on in Nigeria right now, but I feel Nigeria or Nigerians deserve Nigeria. And the reason why I say this, we're all complicit in the state of that country. I was listening to the man who was in the military who was talking and saying the people who were castigating
and all that.
Yeah. But the problem I don't understand, and the thing I don't understand, is those same military men, that go and oppress civilians and citizens. So you can't open your mouth and say that you are so courageous because you joining the military in Nigeria. You're not joining the military to protect Nigerians. You're joining the military for your own selfish benefits, In
most cases,
and this is the problem.
It's not mostly about
patriotism. So exactly, it isn't. It never is, and this is why I and the sad thing is, I've got friends who I would call exposed to a degree, but you still see that they suffer from that terrible mindset, and I speak to them on a daily basis. And if you notice, the issue that we have in Nigeria is hatred for one another, ignorance, greed, and selfishness. And this is what these leaders would always, it's a human problem. It's a human problem, don't get me wrong, but you find out that in economies or countries that are not doing well, the level of hatred is always very, very high. the level of ignorance is always very high. The level of greed is always very high, and the level of selfishness is very high. And that's what these people exploit. You know, we hate one another, and that's why you see the NYSC lady that came to talk and was talking about this whole 30-day challenge, and you still found people hating on this woman. You know, like on this poor girl saying, "Oh, how can you be saying you're suffering when?" So it's part of that hatred that we have for one another, that bigotry, you know. And I'm telling you this, you're going to be amazed. Even educated people, you still have people that
Henry,
support Tinubu.
I mean, I have said it on this platform myself, right?
It's shocking.
The most people, see this set of people who claim to be educated people, they have turned out to be the most dangerous people, because normally you think they should be rational, right? And they should they should have this emotional intelligence, right? Where certain things should no longer drive their own thought process. But unfortunately, they are actually those who are creating more divisive, hateful rhetorics. And it breaks hearts that, I mean, they were supposed to know better. But unfortunately, look at us, look at where we are. They dwell so much in it that, man, it's suffocating, you know?
It really is. It really is. And this is why, like I said to you, the moment we start addressing issues of hatred amongst one another, and this is why the Nigerian government, they don't want to invest in education, because they want citizens to be ignorant, you know, where you don't even know your rights. You do not know any. Yeah, it's very intentional. I'm not joking. It is very intentional. And this is why you're going to have the likes of Tinubu, who should be cleaning toilets in England, as your leader. And I'm not even joking, because you look at Tinubu is not as intelligent. Look at all the leaders. Look at the quality of the leaders that we have. How is it the case that
and they claim to be intelligent? I mean, you are intelligent.
and they're not intelligent people. No,
see, this is what I ask myself all the time. Like, listen, you want to claim to be intelligent, and you can't actually really build a country in this 21st century. That's not intelligence. Crookedry is not intelligence.
Baffling. And I said to my friends, because Nigerians are monkeys, and I'm sorry to say, and this is why we produce leaders like this, and we let them lead and rule over us. Because I can't understand for the life of me, yes, we have challenges in politics, the constitution and all of that's nonsense. But you see, every time these people want to do evil for their own selfish interest, they bypass the so-called constitution that they claim to uphold to carry out their own selfish. Look at what the guy did in Rivers State. He didn't follow the proper due process just for his own selfish interest.
Like a lot of people believe that he was wrong, right? Yeah. A lot of people believe that he's wrong. Or somehow, because they could find an excuse within that defective law of theirs to shield him. Then that means everyone just have to live with it.
So my question is, so why can't politicians bypass those constitutions that they claim? Because when I speak to my friends about, like, okay, why can't? Because I've got some friends who talk about IPOB, and they're so passionate about IPOB, and I tell them I don't agree with IPOB, and the reason why I don't agree with IPOB is because if IPOB was the solution to Nigeria, all the eastern states would be developed. But you still find out that in that same eastern region, we still kill one another. You know, the people that would go and collect money, or the groups of people that will go and collect money to kill their siblings, your neighbor, are still Nigerians. So I don't agree with IPOB. I don't think IPOB would work, because if IPOB was going to work, Anambra State would have been very developed. Right. With all the billionaires you have in Anambra State, it would have been developed. If you
you're believe in IPOB, it's the people who are currently occupying the space of the Biafra, right? They are not exempted from the characters.
No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. I'm telling you, they're not. Because if they were different, the eastern states would be very developed. But you find out that even amongst Igbos, we hate ourselves and we kill one another for our own selfish interests. So I don't believe in IPOB for that reason.
People need to understand the context, because what you're saying is rightly true. Because we all know that there are those who are You see, this is what I'm going to chip in that area, right? Is that we have selfish, self-centered people, like we said from the beginning, right? And that means they cut across every part. In this way, there are those who are very much in bed with the status quo of these current arrangements. And to them, right, it suits them. It works for them. So everyone who is trying to say, let's do it differently, right? You stand a chance of actually being targeted. And I think that's the category the IPOB fell into. They've never been in charge of any of the eastern states administratively. You know that.
But what I'm saying, what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, that if IPOB was going to work in the sense of the whole ideology of IPOB,
right,
or even any movement was going to work in Nigeria, like if Nigeria was a separate, if Igbos are agitating to move away from Nigeria, what I'm saying is that you know the saying, charity begins at home. You know, so why isn't it the case that we start to see developments in these eastern states? Because I can bet you, if Anambra or Abia should get it right, every state will emulate it, and you're going to find out that you see, but you find out that in those eastern states you still have the issues that every Nigeria, every other part of Nigeria is suffering from.
I get you now.
And this is the same attitude that happened when the white people came and were selling our siblings for mirrors and gunpowder. It's the same mindset and mentality, and it's so deep rooted in the Nigerian system.
It is.
Because I'm telling you that the military men that kill civilians, the police, it's shocking that you will see people coming up on the streets to protest against bad governance that's affecting you and your family, but you're still going to pick up your gun and go and shoot. And look at what happened in Lekki Tollgate. Look at what happened in Lekki Tollgate, you know? Like, people still voted and allowed this government to take power. These were people that were behind the Lekki Tollgate issues that happened.
They got rewarded and they got
exactly. And no one is saying anything. No one is saying anything. And this is why I said to you, the ignorance, hatred, greed, and selfishness.
Right?
That's what's killing us. But but thank you, Maigu. But I will be donating.
You've done so well, and I hope I speak to you again, man. Okay, thank you very much for that chip.
Thank you.
You have a good one, Baba.
No, thank you, Maigu.
Cheers, man.
You too.
Bless you. See, that's one thing about the Mayegun's Diary Political, where if you disagree with Henry or the context at which he presented, or from the perspective of his, you too can grab the phone and add your voice. That's how it works. Okay. And I have another caller, and I want to say thank you to my early birds. So the African Wahala, you see, I have my own people, and there is, no matter what, right? They are always going to stand there by me. And that is my man, the African Wahala. I've got one anonymous. See, I've raised 45 pounds out of the 10 grand I intend to raise. And I never raise half of that, but I really do wish I kind of like raise enough to be substantial and make a difference. So the African Wahala, thank you for your generosity. And this anonymous of 20 pounds, thank you too. Here is your first one on the line. Hello there.
Yes, Baba.
Yeah, first one. How are you, sir?
Yes, sir. It's been a while. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's been a while. You're right.
Yeah, I tried seeing you, and I guess you're heavily engaged.
I know, but don't worry. I have told other people too that we're always going to have our own time when there will be less distraction, and of course, we have enough to probably really share together. Then, okay, Baba.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So since you came back, you've tweeted a lot of topics from the likes of Natasha to, even though the Wike and Fubara, it has been an ongoing issue before, right?
A recurring one.
Huh?
I said a recurring one, Wike and Fubara, you said. Go on.
Yeah. That has been like ongoing issue. So, but you know what Henry said, the last gentleman that called, the man is really right. You know, if we look deeply into our race and even the major races, Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, I don't know much about Hausa people though. But when I look deep into Yoruba people, do you know we didn't even like ourselves too? We don't like ourselves that much. And even I have had conversation with Igbo people here in US where I lived. In the case of Mercy, Nnamdi Kanu. And do you know, as at now, everyone Igbo man or woman that I've had this conversation with, none of them is even aligned with the vision that man had. That's just an example, the list.
Right.
So I think he really have it. He's got a point. No, but my concern is this. So if as a race, Yoruba race, Igbo race, we are not even united. We didn't even like ourselves. Talk less of Igbo liking Yoruba, or Yoruba liking Igbo, or Hausa liking Yoruba, or Igbo liking Hausa.
Is that? I mean, can we really categorize? We don't like that ourselves to what people can call normal sibling squabbles. You know, like we sort of have this, like what they would call the,